We are live? Yeah, we are live. We are live. Hello, guys. I don't know if you're watching. I don't think right now somebody is watching live. You might be probably watching the recorded podcast. Today is my day two, and today I'm going to explain how to write a book. If you have not seen my yesterday's podcast, watch it. It's good. I explained that I did it was from my heart. I didn't write down anything. This time I have something written down so that I could say it to all of you. It's not a script, just points that I want to discuss in this today's podcast. Um, so let's get started. Why not? So today I want to mainly discuss about author. It's one of the most highest valued kind of, not the highest, one of the highest, one of the valued, and it's a really good profession, and you can make a living out of it if you're successful. And not only that, it's also a great field to work because it makes you use your entire brain. Now, I became an author when I was 11. I'm right now 14. So when I became first time I became an author, uh, I didn't felt that much like I deserved to be on that place because I was 11. My book was complete of grammatic errors, and it was not the best book, just 80 pages. But right now I'm improving through time. So now let's get into it. The first point I want to discuss is how to get into the field of authoring. If you want to get into the field of authoring, it's hard. I mean, really hard. Gain recognition at first. Like, first of all, you should have a basic idea to write a book, and you should also have a completely written pre-book before approaching publishers. And this is a main thing. Publishers, which I will discuss in a bit of time. I got in the field of authoring through self-publishing, which I will also discuss in a bit in just a moment. So there are multiple ways to get into the field of the authoring, but the main thing you need to know is you should have an idea if you're getting into the field of authoring, because without an idea you can't do anything. And you should also have some kind of good grammar skills if you want to write an amazing book, and you should also know how to extend a story. And now let's get into that. How to write. First of all, when you're writing, you should have a complete line, a thread. We call it in cinema and stories and many things a thread. We call it a thread because it's not an expansion, it's just a small like synopsis with climax, a small plot of the story. That's what we need to have first. Then right now I have three steps in writing my book. I am actually inspired by this, how cinema makers call it: pre-production, production, and post-production. Pre-production includes your character, their design and stuff. Production includes writing and other illustration and stuff. And post-production includes publication. That's one of the theory I suppose I made first. I don't know if anybody made it. So, do you know my name? I suppose in today's podcast I forgot to introduce my name. You can read it down. Arjun Sangeet, it's my name. I'm a 14-year-old. Blah 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 blah. That's it. So, in the first step of pre-production, it's very hard because first of all, as I said, you have to have a proper thread. I mean, really proper. You should have a climax, not like you. Why don't I think these people go there? Let's write a book on it. You have to have a climax, otherwise your book's gonna be a disaster. That's why see, you have to have a climax for your book. It's really important. I know you. Most of you must know that. Now, in the pre-production, you have many things to cover. Like pre-production is one of the second longest, or sometimes the least time-taking thing, but yet it takes a lot of time. For my first book, I didn't do anything like this. I was just straight got into the book and started to type on my computer and type some shit in it. My first book's name was Mystery in the History, the story of a spider available around worldwide. So when I first got into it, I was actually confused, but I had a proper thread. I didn't do anything. I just went on writing it. After 14 days, my book was finished. That was funny. But for my second book, I improved. From there, I started with pre-production. So in pre-production, first of all, after having a thread, you should detail out your characters because your characters should live in the hearts of the readers. Like read J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, or Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson. Actually, I have Percy Jackson near me right now. Just look at it. It's the first edition. I'm reading it. I mean, I'm rereading it. I have already read it once, and I've also read its sequels and everything. I'm rereading it. You can see that it's really old. I have a really old copy of it. So it's one of the first copies. Like it's not signed by Rick Riordan, but it's one of the first copies they were selling, and I got it. I got some years back. So now in pre-production, we need to have some things really clear. That first thing is your thread, and second thing is your characters. Your characters should live in the hearts of the readers. Harry Potter lives in the hearts of the readers. That's why they call them Potterheads, isn't it? I'm Potterhead. Frodo lives in the hearts of his fans. That's why he's known around the world, and J.R.R. Tolkien earned millions for it. Percy Jackson, I don't know if everybody knows it, but I love the story really much, and it's a good story. You have to read the book. That's a good story. If you're just reading Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and thinking book world finished, read Percy Jackson. I won't say read my books. Uh, so after designing your characters, you should name them with a proper name. For my first two books, I named them with stupid names. For example, Aaron, Baron, Redux, RED, Red, and EXX, Redux, and Greenio, GREENIO, Greenio. Like that, I just made up stupid names, and don't do that. Make a good proper name that can be remembered by people. After that, give explanation and depth to your character. Like for my one of my upcoming books, Louis George and the Quest for the Green Diamond. It's my third ever book. It's a 5-part pentology. So for that, I'm actually I spent like half a year expanding in pre-production itself because I actually wanted it to be really good, and I decided why not sketch. I mean not draw. Why not decide how Louis acts before writing him out on my book, and that was a really good measure I took because right now my book's going solid because I already pre-planned what I wanted him to do. That's one of the main things. You should expand every single one of your characters, especially your main character, main villain, secondary character, his lover, his GF, everything. Just expand it. Write out their character, how they behave, how they like, how what they hate, what they love, what they like. Expand it, and then also after that you need to give a face, a figure to your characters because you're writing through a book, and it's not illustrative. You need to show faces in people's minds, so you need to in depth explain how they look. Like he had a heart-shaped face, pointy eyes, pointy nose, and really good smile. He had a brown hair pushed backwards, waving in the wind like that. You could write, and it's gonna be a success because people can now see. Okay, he has a hard face, he has pointy eyes, pointy nose, and brown hair. So now people can imagine how he looks. So also give looks to your character and how you want it. First of all, your book is your imagination, and you should not forget that. We are 9 months in, I need to cover it fast. So that's what you want to do in pre-production. Also, note that you should set up your word, you should set up your page size, everything to what you like before starting and going to the production. In production, it's completely different because in production you're starting writing your book, and like this is one of the notebooks I just showed you right now, writing my stream tips. my podcast tips. I mean, like, this is actually a book that I use for my next upcoming book. I'm not going to show it. I mean, I showed it right now. It's all the chapter. I mean, eight of the chapter names. So I write all of my pre-production work into a book. I keep it in my desk in a book holder, and then you start writing my book. And any doubt, I just flip its pages, read. That's what the importance of pre-productions. So now production, you have to write really hard, but one thing is there. I completed my first book in 14 days, second book in 6 months. My third book is right now almost an year up, and I'm a bit more to complete and then submit to a publisher. So it's like that. You need to take time and write. Don't be in a rush. Take time and try your best and write the best for your readers. That's a main property of author. Always do best what are good or best for your readers, because your readers are your cash machine, I could say, or your fans, I could say. Anything you suppose it is. So it's your choice what to write, but don't forget also look for what your fans enjoy. That's all about production. Production takes a lot of time, and I say take time and write it. Now, post production is complicated, and now in post production we also go into publishing stages. How to publish? So there are many ways to publish. There's self publishing, traditional publishing, hybrid publishing, and much more. Paid publishing and much more. So in self publishing, which I did my for my first two books, it was actually not the best way, I would say, because if you want to be author, you can do it. You can do it through Amazon Kindle, or in India there's a site called Notion Press. You can do it there, or Pothys. That's also an Indian site. So there you can do self publishing, and it's print on demand. Don't forget that if only someone buys your book, your book's printed. Otherwise, your book is not printed, or it's just kept with them, and when someone orders, only they print. Now, then there's traditional publishing, which I am approaching for my third book because I think it's the best out of them all. Traditional publishing is an old type of publishing in which you submit it to a publisher, wait for months, years, and finally they reply with a yes or no and end your life, or make your life the best. So traditional publishing is a long time, especially submitting for big companies like Penguin, or Penguin Publishing, Scholastic, or Bloomsbury, through which Harry Potter is published. It's gonna take up almost 1.5 years. So I would better say you should first complete 3 chapters of your book, submit it to the publisher, and then just continue writing. And by the time their reply arrives, you should just finish the book. If yes or no, don't worry. If they say no, just approach another publisher. If yes, your life is there. Then there is hybrid publishing, which I don't know much about. I will speak about publishing much more in another podcast. And then there's actually hybrid publishing is as same as paid publishing, where you pay the publisher to publish your book. Whereas in traditional publishing, the publisher pays you money to get your book. Now, this is all about the post production as well as the publishing sector, and what are the effects of being an author. As a child in India, it's a great thing to be an author. Everybody respects you. They are like, yo, he's intelligent. By just listening, they have wrote books, because writing books are pretty hard, I would say. And so that's one of the good things you can get. But there are also a lot of negative effects. Some people, he wrote a simple, cheap, non-worthless book. I would say avoid them. They don't know how to write a book. They're just being stupid and trying to hack your brain out. Just leave them. That's one of the effects of being an author. And not only that, even if you're praised, you're also backfired by many people. And not only that, if one of your books is successful, I can sure say that you can make a career in this field itself, because now you're known. Now your next book would earn more. But there, I want to only say one more thing. Your next book should be more quality and better than your first book, so your readers just increase, not decrease. That's the fourth point I want to discuss about publishing. And fifth is the readers. Your readers are your priority. Don't forget you write for them. They read, they give you cash, and you write the next book for them, not for yourself. Don't forget that main one thing. You are priority is story, but also the story is also very important there. I suppose that line didn't make any sense, right? Oh, that was shit. That was a shit line, bro. That was a shit line. What do I say? I meant your readers are your priority, but you should not suppress your ideas for your readers. I would say that. 0 years. What the shit? Perfect. I don't think anybody wants to hear me right now. What to do? Nobody's watching me. If you're watching this after it's released, just look at my other videos. I didn't make you happy. And don't forget subscribe to my YouTube channel here, because if you subscribe, I give a shout out to you. All the best. Like the stream if you liked it. And let's go to the conclusion. My conclusion is that authoring is a tough job, but once getting settled, it's it. I've gave all of the tips I know and I wrote here. Don't forget that authoring is a hard job to get in, but once you have done it, you're good for the rest of your life if you only keep your readers happy. Otherwise, you'll be dead. Thanks for joining the stream, guys. If I suppose nobody joined the stream. Look, I can see on my other computer, 0 views. It's almost 16 months since I've been streaming. Oh god. There it is. Ah, see ya.